Boy, am I glad Hayden asked this question because it's been a long time and I don't think it's ever been really documented what happened in the beginning of June 1988, in which a Ronald McDonald, approximately, I'd say about 8 feet high, I'd say 6 feet, the actual statue itself, plus his arm up, probably hit about 8 feet. So we're talking about something big, and a base ended up at the Southern Lehigh Commencement, which happened, I believe, into the second week of June. So Ronald McDonald had been at the Playland on South 4th Street, and somebody, we're just going to call him Tom, got him out with a crowbar, so essentially stealing Ronald McDonald. And from the Playland, which happened to be outside. I don't even know if they have them anymore. And Tom was, happy that he got the Ronald McDonald. And then after a little while, I think he got a little bit nervous that he had him. I came to the understanding that he had this Ronald McDonald, and I decided, with the help of 2 other people, name redacted and name redacted, we were going to go and take the Ronald McDonald off of his hands. And that's exactly what we did. We took Ronald McDonald in my Toyota 4Runner at the time. He was so big that we laid him out in the back, and just his arm was out the back tailgate. And we took him over to a farm in the Vera Cruz area. We took him to a barn, and we had him hidden there. And it turns out that this particular Ronald McDonald, and the theft of Ronald McDonald, the original theft, not by us, but the original theft, caused quite a storm, in that the local morning radio shows were talking about Ronald McDonald had been stolen, and they were looking out for him. And we then got the idea, because he was such a high-profile piece that we had, we called the local morning radio show from a payphone inside Southern Lehigh High School, just outside the gymnasium. And we made a call to the local radio station in their morning show. It was Uncle Bob, I think. I can't quite remember. I think it was Bob, Uncle Bob. Could be mistaken. And we said we had him. And he said to either take Polaroids or bring proof. But we opted to not take advantage of that, and that would just get us in trouble. But what we did come up with during that time was we thought it would be a good idea to take Ronald McDonald directly to our graduation. And I mean graduation on the football field, and we were going to take Ronald McDonald and put him in the opposing stands. So when all the families and everybody gathered to watch the class of 1988 go through and accept their diplomas, if you looked across the field, there would be Ronald McDonald in the opposing stands. So myself and name redacted, took Ronald in the middle of the night and wrapped him up in burlap bags, and brought with us a gallon of olive oil, a pair of handcuffs, padlocks, and chains. And I know it sounds crazy, but yes, that's exactly what we did. We had taken the burlap bags, and we had entered illegally the field of Southern Lehigh, the football field, from the back end, one closest to 378. And we put the burlap bags, we put them over top of the barbed wire fence, so we could push Ronald over, enter the stadium, and then we could crawl over the stadium. 2 of the 3 of us got over without a hitch. The name redacted person who jumped from the top of the barbed wire fence landed wrong on his ankle, and you'll see in graduation pictures that this name redacted is on crutches at the time. That's because the night before we had brought Ronald into the stadium. Well, we took Ronald and I'm going to explain why the olive oil and the chains and everything happened. What we did is we took Ronald, put him in the opposing stadium in the bleachers. So when you would look across and watching everybody and all the pomp and circumstance and all that great stuff going on, you'd look across and there's an 8-foot Ronald McDonald across the way waving at everybody. Well, we chained him up, poured olive oil over him, handcuffed him, and left him there chained in to the aluminum seating, which was there at the time. I don't know if it's there anymore. And then the next day is graduation day, and I think graduation happens about like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We started driving by at like 11 or noon, and of course not going on the property, just going down the street. I can't recall off the top of my head the name of that street that runs between the middle school and the high school. What we were doing is seeing if Ronald was still in the stands, and he was still in the stands. So we had to get to graduation, and I thought for sure that we would eventually be there at graduation and Ronald would be behind us. But I'm sad to report that just about 15 minutes before they started letting people into the stands, the maintenance crew, and I believe aided by the local police, the Upper Saucon Police Department, managed to remove Ronald and take him into their own possession and their custody. And they removed him before the commencement started. The gym teacher at the time, or one of them, at the middle school, was a woman by the name of Mrs. Patty Mack. And she is proof that they had been watching this Ronald saga unfold the whole time. And she found out years later, the individuals, I'm included, responsible for bringing that. And I believe she said it was one of the most creative senior pranks in human history. So that part is true. And the local Upper Saucon Police Department, by returning the Ronald McDonald to the Playland on South 4th Street, those guys got breakfast every day for like a month because they were managed to return the stolen Ronald McDonald to its proper place. I know the statute of limitations has run out, so I know I'm not in trouble. I just didn't get permission of the other 2 people that were with me to say who it was, but I'm sure your mom, Hayden, will be glad to tell you off the record who those people are. Maybe one day we will recreate that story and do it once again. But yes, June 1988 was the site and location and time of probably the best senior prank ever done. You'll hear stuff like, people greased pigs and they let them run through the lobby of the high school, or you'll hear that people unloaded like 10,000 crickets into the school. I don't believe any of that happened. But one thing I will say is Ronald McDonald was at our commencement, and it was about 15 minutes before showtime, before the lights went down and the mics went on, that Ronald McDonald was in fact at Southern Lehigh 1988 graduation, and I'm proud to be a part of that.